GMS family, if you tuning in, hit the like, subscribe, and the bell. GMS family, roll up. GMS family, what's going on? What's going on? Y'all in good spirits? It's Friday, turn up. GMS family, how y'all doing, man? Y'all good? Everybody good out there? Of course, no matter if we doing an interview or a regular show, we got to start out with positive energy, good vibes. It's a good Friday, man. What's going on, everybody in the chat already, man? Brim Dog, Black Man America, Aries, Kid Al Hart, J.R. Miller, what's going on? Now, what up, Trauma? Hey, listen, y'all. Today is a special episode for a lot of reasons, but one for me specifically is that the fact that I'm on the other side of the interview table, so to speak. Just a quick little background of who I'm about to interview, so y'all know what's going on here. My good friend Jake Faircloth, man. I met this guy some years back. He started a podcast with a friend of his named Joe Fabiano, shout out Joe, called the Wisemen Show. Hip-hop based, man. And me being somebody in the scene that I felt like, you know, I was being overlooked, or like people wasn't paying attention to me. One of the only people the only person really to give me an interview, the first interview I've ever had, the first whatever, put me on a platform to just talk to people and get people to realize or figure out who I am was the Wisemen Show, man. And I owe them a great debt. You know what I'm saying? And I have so much appreciation and gratitude towards them for that. And the only thing that I can do in the moment like this is reciprocate that as much as I can. And when I started this channel, the first thing that I did was say that one of the first people I wanted to interview was my guy Jake. And we got around to it, man. And here we are today with the type of respect that we should have out here. You know, there's been a lot of people out here that had a lot to say about the music scene out here in Minneapolis specifically. But one of the people that has decided to go ahead and literally shine the light on a lot of artists that still to this day feel the same way that I feel as far as, you know, being overlooked or feeling like they ain't getting the recognition they deserve. It was people like Jake and the motherfuckers on the Wisemen Show that decided to take those chances with us and really help showcase our talents, man, because Minnesota is full of a lot of talented people. Artists, singers, writers, producers, engineers, just is really full of a lot of people, and I feel like people misunderstand that or don't even think about that. So, one of the most knowledgeable people and the most interesting people to talk to when it does come to music, I want y'all to go ahead and give a round of applause and shout out my guy, Jake Faircloth. Welcome, Jake Faircloth, to the GMS show. Let me ask to unmute my guy, and then we gonna get it in. Jake, what's going on, my brother?
Yeah, well, so first of all, let me just say thank you. I appreciate the kind words.
Yes,
and,
sir.
And then also add that, I'm proud of you, because I think I've been telling you for a while that I think you have a voice to do something like what you're doing now.
Yes,
You know what I
sir.
mean? Like, we've had, you're one of, I don't know, maybe a couple of people that we had on the show just as another voice, not even an interview. Like,
Right.
I remember when the Drake and Meek shit popped off, you were one of the first people I called. I'm like, hey man, we need to have an emergency episode. Let's go. Come sit down. It wasn't even an interview. We were just talking shit. So
that was one of the moments too where I realized, man, like I wanted to be in a space like that, and it like felt good just to be in a space to sit down and just have those conversations.
Exactly.
And I also appreciate that too for y'all thinking about that, because like I said, you guys have interviewed a lot of people and you guys have built a lot of relationships with different people, but it's not always gonna gel the same. You know what I'm saying? You don't always connect with people. You can meet a lot of people, but the connection part about it, man, that's the most important part when it comes to building a relationship with people, man. And you guys actually took a chance on bringing me onto y'all show multiple times, and like you said, it didn't even have to be about interviewing me about music, just to have my perspective on shit, just to add my voice to what y'all was doing. I always appreciated that, bro. So thank you.
Yeah, man. Well, of course. It was. I think I learned maybe a few years into it that it can't always be about reciprocation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to give people the platform that are talented, whether they support you or not.
Yeah.
But for me, with you, it was always about the fact that you were always so supportive. Whether it was you on the show or not, you were supportive, and I just have appreciation for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I'd like to also add, you are the record holder. You've been on the show more than anybody.
I have. That's another thing. I have been on the show more than anybody else. And there's a lot of popping motherfuckers out there. But the fact that, you know what I'm saying, my homeboys, my brothers have decided to have me on the show as much as they have, I appreciate that a lot. Now, my guy Jake, man, the tables have turned, and I am here to interview you. Now, full disclaimer. Tried to start a podcast some time ago with my guy AJ. Shout out to AJ Johnson. We did an episode back then, but motherfuckers wasn't sharp or knew anything really about how to run this space. Motherfuckers was just trying to have like they trying to force shit, trying to force a conversation and trying to make shit do whatever. But in this space where I am now, where I feel more confident in my interview skills, I feel like it's really time to get to know Jake Faircloth and have the people know who you are and continue to follow you and subscribe to you, because y'all really need to fuck with Jake, man. He's one of the most interesting motherfuckers when it comes to talking about this music shit. Not just hip hop, just music shit, period, and just his outlook on certain shit. So first and foremost, before we get there, sir, who is Jake Faircloth?
Whew, Jesus.
Powerful question. Powerful question.
Who am I? Well, it is a powerful question. It's a deep question. And to be honest with you, like, that's something that I think we're all always trying to get to the bottom of. And I don't know if we ever truly do figure out exactly who we are.
Right.
But I'll answer it by saying, I'm somebody that cares about people. I'm an empath by nature.
Yeah.
I have a strong ability to put myself in other people's shoes, no matter the situation. Not that I can always understand the situation, but I want to try. You know what I mean? I always want to try to understand everyone's situation. So, yeah, I'm somebody that just cares about humans in general. Even though I think the majority of us are pieces of shit. We all deserve the opportunity to be heard and seen and and understood. So so I'm somebody that cares about people. I'm somebody that I have a strong passion for art. And and people with artistic ability. I think that I'm artistic. I struggled for a really long time trying to figure out where to put that artistic ability.
Yeah.
And then, once I found podcasting, I struggled with whether or not that is artistic. And then over the years, I realized that there's a true art to talking into a microphone and keeping people's attention. So, so I'm an artistic guy. I'm a father. That's probably above all.
Oh yeah.
I would consider myself to be the strong friend in my group of friends.
Yeah. I could see that. I could definitely see that.
I'm a pretty strong guy. I don't like burdening people with my problems. However, to be honest with you, it sounds weird to say this, but like that's something that I've worked on. To say that I've worked on burdening people with my problems, but it is because I think I've over the years I've felt kind of alone with my pain and my suffering and shit in my life because I don't really talk about it. And I recently started like really probably bugging the shit out of the people that I love and that love me with my problems, because it's important that people know what you're going through.
Well, yeah, I think that's the best part about it, is being able to talk to people and get that off your chest when you need to, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that sums it up. As far as who I am, I love, I love, not only do I love hip hop, but I have an extreme appreciation for Black culture and Black people.
Yep.
I think, you know what I mean? Like I think that's obvious if you know me.
Yeah.
I don't like white people.
He said this several times, bro. This is not him. This is not him being fake for the camera. That's not. That's not that. He's literally told me this behind the scenes. Like this is not. It's not fake, bro. He's dead ass.
Yeah, and if you're watching and listening, like you know what I mean. I don't mean like people like I'm talking about the whites. You know what I mean? Like with the H in front of the W. The whites.
Exactly, the whites.
You know, yeah, the whites. Those
the Mayo soldiers.
Yes, those people. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's, you know what I mean? That sums it up. I think it is a big question. You know, there's more to me than just that, but that's a good brief synopsis of who I am.
Right. And I think also it speaks to your character because the fact that, like I said, you didn't just come out here like, yo, we finna start a platform and we finna get lit and we finna use all these people to. No, you really took the time to create a show and create a space for people to get to know more of the Black artists that are here in this state, because like me and you know what goes down in this state when it comes to the music scene. It's like they sprinkle a few of us in there, but the rest of the motherfuckers that be getting elevated are motherfuckers that are not of the culture, who are guests in the culture. You know what I'm saying? And you really did a great job. Y'all did a great job. The Wisemen Show did a great job of showcasing that shit. So once again, I can't thank you enough. I know a lot of people thank y'all, but it's just like y'all had a platform that really gave a fuck about hip hop out here. Music period, just music period out here, because you guys interview more than just rappers and shit.
Oh, facts, absolutely, yeah.
And that's the next thing I wanted to talk to you about was the growth, like your growth for the love of hip hop, and where that came from, where that started from, and like, you know, of course we gonna get into some of your favorite artists and shit and talk about that, but shine some light on that, brother.
That's a great question, because that is gonna be our first. This is gonna be our first piece of controversy in this interview.
Let's get it.
So, you talked about my growth, my growth in the love for hip hop. Something that only few people know, and now more people will know because I'm going to talk about it publicly. I've not spoken about this publicly.
Yeah.
The show really started. Oh man, people are going to take this so apart. I don't care. This is my truth.
Yeah, tell your truth, brother. I don't give a fuck.
Doing the show actually started to make me hate hip hop. Not the music, but the industry.
I'm pretty sure people will understand that. Yep.
Bro, even Joe doesn't know this. And him and I probably need to have a conversation so he can understand better as to why I felt the need to step back. And we can get more into that too.
Yeah.
probably the last maybe 2.5 years of the show. And, you know, we went strong for over 5 years, about 5.5 years. Probably the last 2.5. Bro, I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knew that. And I didn't talk about it. And for me, it was being strong, holding my conviction and my belief of the show.
Yep.
Also feeling like what you just talked about, what we provided for the state, there's not a lot of people out there that are providing it. You know what I mean? Like there's a few platforms that are really doing it, but look, I don't care what anybody says. Nobody did it at our level.
Nope.
Nobody had the presentation that we had. Nobody had the consistency that we had.
Yep.
Nobody created the content that we had.
Production.
Like nobody. No, exactly. Nobody. So, and you know, a lot of people, you know, tried to match it, which I appreciate. I want that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people hate, like, oh, you're trying to dick ride or you're trying to jot. Like, bro, dick ride, jot, copy, do it all. Like we need more. I've never been a hater of other platforms. As you can see, if you go back on our YouTube page, you'll see we've had every other platform on our show. We've invited them. We've done SWAT casts with every other podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I've never been on a no hater shit when it comes to other platforms. I mean, maybe privately I've said some shit like, oh, look at what they did. But anyways, I digress.
That's normal. That's regular shit.
I really started to just dread it. And it's because there's this, I think it's because our scene is really still in its infancy stage, maybe teenager stage.
Yeah.
This lack of professionalism. It was like, it got to a point where it was like, does anybody really appreciate this shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're hitting me up an hour before you're supposed to be there telling me you're not going to make it, I mean, do you really care about your career?
Yeah, I wonder how many times I had to do that.
So I'll give you insight. I'll tell you right now. I didn't count, but I can tell you with confidence.
Yeah.
We have had more cancellations than episodes.
Jesus.
Yes. And y'all can go do that math if you want to. We would be well into the 500s.
Yeah, they have a lot of. That's another thing that I need y'all to do because the channel is still there. We're gonna talk about the Wisemen Show and talk about all the other shit, but y'all need to go and subscribe to the Wisemen Show on YouTube.
Yeah,
and go start watching the content. Go watch the freestyles. Get in tune with the artists. Get in tune with what the conversations are. Anyway, I digress. But keep going.
And then I mean, like artists showing up and like, I mean, Joe is really good at putting pressure on artists to rap, but like, that's part of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you're coming to see the Wisemen, you got to bring some bars. You should bring your A game if you really care, because the freestyles that we've had that were dope, they did some numbers.
Yep.
They would do well. They would get you some traction. So if you come out and I don't want this to sound disrespectful to anybody that came out and did a verse off of a song, because that can be good too, especially if it's unreleased.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like you did one of your songs the last time you were out there, and that it fit for the time.
Exactly.
Because of what we were going through in not only in the city but in the country.
Right.
It made sense. You know what I mean? It was powerful. Held power. Like if you come out and Joe's got to convince you to rap, like, come on. Like, what are you here for? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you did the interview and that's cool, but like,
to look cool.
Exactly. Like, you got to rap. You know what I mean? And it just started to feel. I just started to feel exhausted by all of it.
Yeah.
And you know, to add to that, like, this is gonna sound real somber, but man, it fucked my life up. Like, the show really fucked my life up, because what people don't understand is the amount of work that goes into the production.
Yeah, talk about it.
I'm putting in, I mean, 40 hours is light for producing a, you know, I mean, 1.5 to 2 hour show, sometimes 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah. Like,
that's no joke. The editing process, even if you're not cutting anything out,
right? Just
the rendering process. I mean, and if you run into any bumps or issues or anything like that, like creating, you know, photo editing, which Joe did, even just like the transfer process of getting the content, moving the content over, like, bro, it's a full-time job plus mandatory overtime if you want to stay consistent. And anybody that has a show out there knows that.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't, not that I have the expectation that if you don't, that you wouldn't know that, but like, no, we didn't create this platform to make money.
Yeah.
But the end game was to get paid.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
That's what
the
anything
end
you
game.
are passionate about, even if
Yeah.
you're passionate about it, man, you want to make a living from it.
Yeah, and we treated it like a business. You know what I mean? Like you've been there. We take good care of you.
Oh yeah.
If you come out, you're gonna feel taken care of. You're gonna have whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're gonna get a drink served to you. You might get some snacks or some food.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you're gonna mingle with maybe with Joe's family.
Yep.
Meet his kids and his wife, and like, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna feel like we're gonna stand around in his kitchen for a little while and bullshit.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? So like, we treated it like a business. Like we legitimately care. And no, we don't want to profit off your back. We want to profit off the work that we put in to shine the light on you. And the goal was always break an artist. Find some, you know, have somebody find an artist through our platform and watch them blow up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just watch them go. And then other artists can be like, yo, look what happened over here. We want to go to that platform. We want to do that. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, that was always the end game. That was always it still is my dream. It's still my goal. I want to be at the forefront of seeing somebody that I shed a light on become a fucking superstar.
Yeah.
I don't even need credit. If I get it, great, but I don't need it.
I mean, that would feel great.
Yeah, but I want the pride. You know what I mean? I want the pride in that. That's what I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
hell yeah.
That's what I want, and that was always the goal. And after 5+ years of feeling like we don't get the support that I think we should get,
mm-hmm.
and then then you get stuck in that, and it's like, then you start talking about, oh, support us, give us more support, and it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy that's complaining about the supporters we don't have. I want to appreciate the supporters that we do have, but then it's like 40 to 60 hours a week, dog. I got a family.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't put 40 to 60 in a week not getting paid.
You can't solely focus on the pie. That's something that I think a lot of people have gone through when it came down to deciding what it is that they wanted to do. A lot of people have made certain sacrifices as far as their family, or like they being a father or being a mother and shit like that, trying to chase after what it is that they want to do, because some people do feel like that's the only way that they can succeed, is if they only fully indulge themselves in that thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's a hard space to be in, man, when you are really genuinely somebody who gives a fuck about your family and takes care of your family. Yeah.
And it's like, maybe Joe will watch this and hear it now, but him and I need to discuss this. We haven't spoke a lot about this specifically, like we kind of fell out over this.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of people probably don't know that either, but like we kind of fell out over this. And I think what happened was, I went through some personal shit in my life that I'm not going to delve too deep into, but like my life got flipped, turned the fuck upside down, like literally turned upside down. And when something like that happens, you start to look at the causes, the things that went into that happening.
Yep.
And the show, I know, was a big part of it. It was. I became complacent, not even complacent, but like, it was like, this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
We just gotta keep going. And for me, what I think Joe didn't know, and that's my fault for not telling him. It's my fault for not telling anybody.
Yeah. Was
that I had been in that space for 2.5 years already, where I was like, just holding on. Like I just got to keep doing this. I just got to keep. It doesn't matter if I hate it. Doesn't matter how upset, how tired I am. I just got to keep going, because something's gonna give. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna be okay. We're gonna make it. We're gonna start getting paid. This work I'm putting in is gonna pay off. And then that shit happened in my life, and it was like, yo, not only is it not going to happen, but now my life is fucked up and I don't know what to do. And so I made a choice and I just said, look, I have to be done. I got to fall back. I have to. It wasn't a decision that I took lightly.
Right.
And maybe it looked like it did. And I know that like a lot of people have asked me like, why haven't you made a formal announcement? And I think the reason I never made a formal announcement is for a couple of reasons. One, I'm somebody that needs to expound.
Yeah.
And the only way for me to do that is something like this. I can't get all of my shit off on IG in a minute.
Yeah, on a post and shit. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can't do that. It doesn't work for me.
Type it out either.
Exactly. And I haven't really felt like talking on mics or being on cameras on podcasts. You know what I mean? But so I mean, I take responsibility in that. Like I let it go too far.
Yeah.
I let it go too far before I said something. I should have spoke up sooner. But it was literally just me going, I gotta hang on. I gotta do this for Joe. I gotta do this for my family. I gotta do this for myself.
Yeah.
I gotta just hang on. It's all gonna be okay. My love for this shit is gonna come back because we're gonna start getting bread. And like, I'll be honest with you, bro, the Patreon move, that was made out of desperation because I didn't know what else to do. Our YouTube shit was getting demonetized because I'm a wild boy and I say wild shit.
Yeah.
And so did some of our guests. And like our YouTube page had been demonetized like 4 times. It just got demonetized again. Yeah, because
that's fucking.
You know what I mean?
That's the crazy shit. That's the one thing I'll be trying to watch out for too, because I know this shit is
it's that anti-Trump shit.
Yeah, it is.
That's what it is. You can't be saying anti-Trump shit because
that's how especially when he was fucking president. Especially when he was fucking president.
Which he still was when we were last recording. So
exactly.
You know what I mean? Same with Black Lives Matter conversations. Like that's a very polarizing subject because of the difference between the Black Lives Matter organization and Black Lives Matter movement. Which a lot of people don't understand. They're 2 different fucking things. They're not the same thing.
We talk about it all the time, bro.
Right.
We talk about this shit all the time. Like Instagram got me shadow banned. Like I got damn near 1,800 followers, but don't nobody be popping into the lives whenever I go live, and it's only because of the simple shit that I fucking post about that shit. Like I'll be posting about that shit. I have posts up on my page supporting and me at marches and me all that shit. So of course they ain't gonna try to, you know what I'm saying? They just gonna shadow ban the fuck out of you. And they do that shit here too. A lot of people here when they come to my live say that they don't see my notifications when I go live, even though they've pressed that, they've hit that bell, the notification bell. You know what I'm saying? They don't get the notifications when I go live. It's crazy, bro.
It is crazy. It's bullshit. And I wish people could look at that and understand you can't, things like that can't happen unless you live in a world that has a lot of fucking racism in it. You know what I mean? Like you can't on one hand be like racism doesn't exist, but then all this shit that like, well then what's that about?
Exactly.
If everybody's the same, we're all on an equal playing field, and racism doesn't exist anymore, and slavery's over, and everything's all good, then why we got to do shit like that? That you're literally showing. That's an example of division. You're acknowledging that. You're acknowledging that there's a difference.
They've been calling this shit on these social platforms for a minute. They've been getting that TikTok for a while too, but TikTok not even based out here, so nobody can really even do shit about that because they don't give a fuck.
That's facts. Yeah, it's wild, man. We live in a wild ass world, bro.
Now with the Wisemen Show now, like you said, you know, you had to fall back and things kind of it didn't even not necessarily like die down. It's more so y'all push back and ain't been putting out content for the simple fact that you've had to push back and everything had to separate. During this time, have you been able to get back, like you said, get back that love?
Man, I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
I'm back.
I see it, man. That's why you sit here right now. I knew what I was asking that. You weren't even going to let me. I already knew.
I'm back. No, I'm back. So look, taking a break and stepping back has reinvigorated my love, not only just for hip hop in an entirety, but here.
Yeah.
Like You know what I mean? Like I love our music scene here, and I
Right.
still listen to mostly artists from. Actually, I was about to. Don't let me lie. I listen to mostly R&B, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still pay attention to everything. I still see it all.
You still have a big list of Minnesota artists that you listen to.
Of course, absolutely, yeah. Regular playlist, yeah. Of course,
and that's real support outside of the people, like I said, outside of the people that have created a platform just to get revenue and try to be like so and so and this and that and this and that. Like I remember we had a conversation where we talked about certain things, about taking certain aspects from our favorite people that we listen to or that we watching like that and incorporate it into the stuff that we doing as a way to elevate and progress ourselves. It's never been the type of vibe or energy from you where I felt like, oh, this dude just having all these people on here just so they can fucking boost them up so they can fucking go and hit huge heights and not give a fuck about the people that they started out with. It was like, I knew you were waiting for one of us out here to just fucking go. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
And then
that's a dream to me.
To have the Wisemen be one of the people to be behind that, and to actually have the credit of actually showing this person love when the city itself wasn't doing it. That's a big accomplishment in that, like, and that's a reoccurring thing. Like you will hope that artist would continue to come back to the show to continue to show love type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, bro. Yeah. It's a dream of mine, and I don't want to speak for Joe, but I can tell you that he feels the same way for sure. I want to be able to go interview the biggest artist on the planet. I want to go interview Drake.
Yeah.
And then come right back home and interview Taylor J. So he can get some of the shine, the residual shine off of the interview we just did with Drake. Like that's part of it for me, is creating the buzz with a bigger artist, like a national artist. And then when you gain all that traction and momentum from interviewing the national artist, you go interview somebody that you fuck with from here.
Right.
So then some of that traffic comes over here. Now you like that's the dream. And I would do that forever.
Hell
forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let the Wisemen Show or my just even myself, like doing one-on-ones. Let me have regular opportunities to interview national artists. I promise you, in between every national artist, I'm interviewing somebody here locally that I think deserves to shine. Because that's what I love supporting people. Like I said at the beginning, bro, you asked me who I was. Like, I love people.
It's genuine shit.
Yeah, man. And maybe it's a little virtue signaling, and maybe I do want a little bit of credit, but like my heart is good. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't change that. I want that. Like, yeah, I want to be responsible for that.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody hit that big stage because they did an interview with me or with the Wisemen Show. I want that.
I know your space in music. Like, I feel like there's something that you should be doing, on top of, being behind the mic and being like the person to, interviewing or talking to people. I feel like there's a space for you as far as like artist development, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because I've been doing that.
Because more artists need people that actually genuinely give a fuck about their success. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
because
let me
understand that when they win, you win.
Well, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and plug the artists that I've been working very close with. Then.
Yes, sir.
Maybe some people have noticed, maybe some have not, but I've been working very closely with a young lady that goes by the name of Solo Star.
Shout out Solo Star.
Who's an absolute star.
Yeah.
In the making. And yeah, her and I have been working very close. I've been working behind the scenes with her on a lot of shit. And let me go ahead and plug this real quick.
What that is?
She just released this book. It's called the 7-Day Grief Journal for Hip Hop Lovers.
Okay.
And so it's a really dope idea. I don't want to give too much away because I want people to go buy it.
Right.
Go click the link in her bio. I am Solo Star, and you can buy the book on Amazon. I don't remember how much it is, but who cares? It's like $20 or something like that. And basically what it is let me share. She already shared one of these, so let me go ahead and share it again, since I already know she put it out here. But I'm gonna give you just a quick little. She might get mad at me for this, but I don't care. So here's just a little insight. So it's a quote from Mary J. Blige, and each page is like this. And this is day 4, grieving a love that failed. And it says, "There's nothing like mourning someone who has not died. Unfortunately, the grief process is the same. If you are blessed enough to experience love, it is likely you'll also experience losing it." So it's basically a bunch of powerful quotes.
Yeah.
And then after that, journal pages. So each page is a different quote from a different hip hop artist.
Yeah.
And you can go through and read the quote, and then you can journal about your experience with whatever the quote alludes to. Really dope. Gonna be a series. But yeah, man, it's amazing. And
that's dope as fuck, actually.
Yeah, and people need to go buy it. I'm telling you, it's, if nothing else, bro. 'Cause here's what it is for me. I'll tell you what it is for me and why it's so dope. It's like, sometimes, I don't know if anybody out there that writes or journals, but like sometimes you sit down to journal and you don't really know what to say.
Yeah.
You don't really know what to write. You want to get some shit off your chest, but you don't know where to start. It gives you a starting point. So it gives you a place to start. And then once you fill it up, it's like something that you can hold forever. You know what I mean? And like, you can go back 10 years from now and look at how you were feeling 10 years ago. And you could even, once you fill it up, you can go buy another one and do it again. You know what I mean? Do it again and do it again. So it's such a dope concept. And I hope people like the idea, and maybe we'll go out and grab a couple copies. But
well, just to expound on that idea, just like you said, I think that's great that it'll be a series about that, because I'm pretty sure that the way that it'll help people for that starting point, people will be more interested to know, okay, what's the next lyrics that's coming out in the next book that'll help me. You know what I'm saying? People will be very interested in that. That's a very dope idea. Shout out to Solo Star, man.
Yeah, plus the artwork in there is really dope. I don't remember who did it. I should have remembered that before I said this. I don't know if it's in here, but the artwork is really dope. And I mean, aside from that, she's an incredible artist as well. So anybody that's watching this, definitely go tap into Solo Star.
Yeah, go follow her on IG. I am Solo Star.
And Love Hangover 2 coming soon. I've heard all of it, and it's amazing. Her pen is tough to match, bro. Like, she's a special writer. So yeah, go tune in with her and watch for work that her and I are doing together. We're working on some other
keep your eyes open, y'all. Keep your eyes open. What up, Brim Dog? What up, Ben Slim? So
she might be in here, but I don't know if she's in here or not, but she might be.
Oh, let her know. Shout out to Solo Star if you are, man. Question. So now that we're on the topic of writing.
Yeah.
Now I gotta ask you some music questions, brother.
Yeah, please.
Coming up, when you first started really, really indulging in hip hop, for you, did the shit that attracted you more, was it more of the lyric aspect, or was it the fun, like the beat aspect? Was you that type of person? What was it for you, and who was the artist that had you hooked?
So definitely lyrics. Pretty much always has been. And I mean, I'll be as real as possible. When I found out that you could say fuck on a record, I was like, whoa, I need some more of that. So truly the artist that really kind of hooked me, it was Snoop. The first time I heard Doggy Style, what was that? Came out in 93. I was born in, I must have been 10 years old when I heard Doggy Style, which, a 10-year-old hearing Doggy Style for the first time was like, is this illegal? Am I supposed to hear, is he supposed to be doing this? I don't know if this is okay or not, but man, Doggy Style to this day, Doggy Style to me is the greatest hip hop album of all time. And I don't even know if it's close, to be honest with you. It's a perfect album. Not a single flaw.
Well,
it's perfect.
You echo a lot of sentiments for a lot of people too. I know a lot of people's favorite album is Doggy Style, straight up.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it holds a sentimental place in my heart, obviously, because it's really what hooked me. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, I can listen to it today, and I don't hear it. There's no flaws. There's
I know
nothing,
I got some
nothing
old
at
heads
all.
in the chat right now that know that Doggy Style is one of their favorite albums too. Know
Yeah,
that shit front to back.
yeah, yeah, oh, front to back, bro. I could rap the whole album right now. I'm not going to, so don't ask me to, but I could whole album.
So of course Snoop is one of those people
Snoop,
that you love. Of course we all love. If you dislike Snoop Dogg, there's actually something wrong with you. Like
get out,
there's actually
move.
something wrong with you. Like
Yeah,
there's something
yeah,
fucked up inside your head.
yeah. If something
Everybody
wrong,
loves
if you
Snoop
don't, yeah, if you don't like Snoop, get out. Just leave. I don't know where you're gonna
Pure
take
hate.
take one of them dick rockets up to space with Jeff Bezos or something. Just go.
Hell yeah.
Just leave. But man, but the thing that really transcended my love for hip hop, and I mean just art in general,
Yeah.
it was Pac. I mean, it was Tupac. When I first heard Tupac, it was like, oh, like this is different.
Yeah.
Like Snoop Dogg is great. His flow, his voice, he has the ability to add humor and all that. But like Pac was like wow, like this is somebody that's not playing at all. Like this is very real and serious for him. And like Pac opened my eyes to things that were going on in the world that I was sort of sheltered to.
Yeah.
Probably because I was a child, but like Pac introduced me to things. You know what I mean? Like listening to the way that he would talk about things going on in his neighborhood, and listening to the way that, I know he didn't always do this, but listening to the way that he spoke so highly of Black women, and the way that he talked about politics, things going on in the world, and
that's still relevant today.
Still relevant today. Yeah, I mean, Pac was more of a, I mean, when I call Pac the GOAT, no, he's not the greatest rapper of all time. He's not. But also he is, because he was a rapper. Yeah. And he's the greatest person. He's the greatest person that's ever rapped, to me. That's a better way of putting it. The greatest human being that's ever rapped. And then you think about, bro, I mean, I'm getting off subject a little bit.
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
When you think about the fact that he died at 25, do you know how much of a piece of shit I was at 25? Think about what he accomplished. Think about what he accomplished by the age of 25. Like, it's crazy to even think that he was only 25.
And then
that's why, like, bro.
Ridiculous.
And then all right, let's get controversial again. And then when people want to compare him and Big, man, get all the way the fuck out of here. I don't ever want to hear that comparison again. Like, look, no doubt, Big was talented.
Love Big, yep.
But compared to Pac, come the fuck on.
Now that's the question in the chat for y'all. That's the question in the chat for y'all. Who y'all got? Tupac or Biggie? The most classic hip hop question ever. Tupac or Biggie? Put it in the chat. Anyway, keep going.
It ain't close. It's not close. It's just not. And I mean, look, admittedly, I definitely have a bias.
Yeah.
Look, I give Pac a lot of credit for teaching me about manhood, showing me how to be a man, because my pop really wasn't around too much. My pop didn't teach me a lot about being a man, and the shit that he did teach me about being a man is shit that I took to not do. You know what I mean? So a lot of Tupac going in my ears in very formative stages of my life. I give him a lot of credit for teaching me. Yeah. And when somebody has that big of an impact on you, and they basically go to their grave screaming "fuck somebody," I feel a way about that person. Yeah. So I know that we've learned a lot about the Biggie versus Tupac thing since then, and I can appreciate that. But hey, I don't fuck with Biggie.
Yeah, I understand that. You don't have, and that's the thing. A lot of people feel like they have a obligation to these people to say whether or not they fuck with them or they like them better, or else it's like a curse or some shit. But it's like, nah, man, people like who they like, man. And if they don't fuck with them, they don't fuck with them. All due respect, but hey,
I acknowledge that he was a very talented human being.
Yeah, yeah.
Like yes, he's very talented. I would
Of
never
course.
take anything away from that. But man, fuck him.
Yo, that's that Tupac coming out. That's that Tupac. I bet you. What happened when you heard "Hit 'Em Up"? I want to know what happened when you heard "Hit 'Em Up."
Oh man, I mean that's where it was. That's where it really started.
Hey,
You know what I
imagine
mean? Like,
young
that's
ass
where-
Jake talking about something. That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
I was what? I was 12 when that song came out.
That's hilarious.
Very, you know what I mean? And my love for Pac at that time was, hey, I'm riding.
Yeah.
Now, I don't
For
care.
sure.
I'm riding. That's it. And then they both died. So like, that's still with me.
Oh yeah.
It's still with me.
And both
You know what I
died
mean?
young as shit, man.
Young. Yeah.
Had
So young.
had
So
a lot
sad.
more to go. And then that's always the question about what the fuck would it have been like for them to continue on in the type of music that they would have had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting. I wonder if they would both still be rapping. I think that they would.
I
think
mean,
that they would.
they most
Maybe.
definitely will be showing up to these classic concerts for them to pull up and perform their hits and shit. I don't know about new music, maybe.
I think Biggie
for
would definitely still be rapping. I
Yeah.
think Pac might be a movie star.
Oh my God! You think
People don't understand that like he was on his way to
Pac
becoming a bigger movie
he
star
was an
than he was.
amazing actor, bro?
Great actor. He was just
Amazing.
bro. He was a special human being
Yeah,
in all aspects of life, and he unfortunately got tied in with some people in the music industry that he shouldn't have, or I wish he wouldn't have.
right.
You know what I mean? Because that's like he wasn't. People don't know he wasn't into that gangster shit
Nah.
until like the last 2 years of his life.
The real
know what I
ones
mean?
know the real ones know what type of person Pac really was. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of
Yeah.
people around him that kept him in that mentality as well. You know what I'm
and
saying?
we still see that, and we see that today.
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of ways, bro, you could compare in that. Okay, let me preface this. I'm not talking about music. I'm not talking about who they are as people, but the situation could be compared to like 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
Pac was this pure soul. I mean, he was a revolutionary and he was down for it for the right reasons. I mean, he
Right.
shot cops
Yeah.
because it was the right fucking thing to do because they were abusing their power.
Exactly.
But he was a pure soul. He was a decent human being with a good heart. And he got roped into death row. And this happened to a lot of people. It wasn't just him. You know what I mean? Like Snoop luckily got away from it. Dre luckily got away from it. But who knows what would have happened to them if they hadn't. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
And then he got kind of roped into that, what looked like a criminal ring. And all of a sudden he's a blood and he's stomping out Crips in the fucking MGM Grand and like you know what I mean? Like
doing the most.
Stomping out Crips in the MGM Grand is a far cry from standing up for a gentleman that was getting the shit kicked out of him by two off-duty drunk cops.
That is true. That is true.
You know what I mean? It's
That
not
is
the
true.
same thing. Now I know the racists and the whites would say, "Look at him, look at him. He shoots cops and he beats up gang members." Like, nah,
Yeah.
two
nah,
whole different situations.
Right.
Not the same. And he was by the way, he was acquitted of
Mhm.
all charges. Shot them cops, which is another thing that was just
Crazy.
tells you
Unheard
how
of.
special he was. That was how special he was, but he couldn't sustain. He just couldn't sustain the life that he had fallen into.
That's a side question I gotta ask you too, because people that know the story and know the background about this shit, they know that Pac. See, you already mentioned Snoop Dogg, but they know that Pac and Snoop had a falling out before Pac died.
Yep.
And it was over the fact that Snoop didn't really pick sides when it came to the big ass East Coast, West Coast beef shit. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And Snoop did an interview talking about how he had no problem with Big and no problem with Puff and nobody like that. And when he got back to the jet, he had to sleep with 2 fucking kitchen knives in his fucking lap because he was scared of what was gonna happen. Ain't nobody talk to him, didn't nobody say shit to him, wasn't nobody fucking with him, period, when he got on that plane. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things too where I think Pac being the person that he was before kind of turning his image into something else, I feel like they would have definitely worked that out that whole situation. As a matter of fact, that the Biggie and Pac shit probably would have never happened in the first place. You know what I'm saying? They never would have got there.
It's a fact. Yeah, I think a lot of it was, again, to compare it to 6ix9ine a little bit. I think there was some 6ix9ine to that beat. I think that it was, I think it was manufactured a little bit. Yeah, I think it was manufactured a little bit. I think there was a little bit of let's create tension and trauma. Like, do you really believe that Pac fucked Faith? Because I don't.
No,
I used to, but now I don't. So like, what was that about? You know what I mean? Like, if you're really mortal enemies and you really have the opportunity to fuck your mortal enemy's wife, you do it. You don't just pretend that you did it and then post about it. You do it.
It's a psychological thing.
It's a psychological thing, exactly. Yeah. So it felt to me like a little bit of it was manufactured. I think it got very real. You know, there's another story that I heard recently about during that time. Mm-hmm. I don't remember. I think it might have been Snoop that told it. Was it Snoop that told it? I don't remember who. I think it was Snoop, but there was he told a story. I'll get the story right, but I don't remember if it was I told it or not, but I think it was. And they were at a party, and it was in the middle of all this East Coast, West Coast shit. And Nas pulled up. And he saw Pac. And this is when he was talking about, he was talking about Nas too.
Yeah.
And Nas walked straight up to Pac, and Pac got in the defensive. And Nas was like, yo, Pac, like, I don't know what all this is about, but like, I got nothing but love for you. I love your music. I respect you as a man and as an artist. And like, I love you.
Yeah.
And Pac was kind of like still on some like, yeah, fuck you type shit. And then Nas walked away, and Pac like tapped Snoop and was like, yo, fucking, I let him off the hook. And Snoop said he looked at Pac and was like, no, he let you off the hook because
he had it surrounded.
Surrounded.
Yeah, I remember that story now.
Yeah. And I'm like, sometimes it's disappointing to hear things like that.
Yeah, bro.
About the guy that you held in such high regard, but at the same time, it tells the true story, because the Pac that I really loved was who Pac really was, not the gangster. Like, I like that gangster shit; it's fun, but like, I respect Pac for the, you know what I mean? Like, again, another perfect album, Me Against the World.
Yeah,
that's my favorite Pac album. It's his greatest album. You know what I mean?
He was way more impactful for what he was trying to do through his music than the persona he was giving to the world outside of it.
Exactly. He was sort of playing, it seemed like he was sort of playing a character towards the end.
Yeah. And
while that's a little disappointing, it's also understandable. And a lot of people do that and then live through it and figure it out. A lot of people go through, you know what I mean, crises like that.
Right.
You know, having an issue with your own identity and all that. Like, a lot of people go through that. And again, 25 years old, pretty easily influenced, especially when there's money in your face, there's bitches in your face. Like, you feel tough because you're around the hardest fucking dudes. Like, pause. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you're influenced. Like, 25, you're still a kid, bro.
And that's not the only time somebody had a story about Nas. I forgot who else said something about when they came to I think it was somebody that came to New York. Somebody from LA came to New York, or I think it was Nas had came to LA or something like that. But it was like they said all they saw was a bunch of niggas in Timbs, and they didn't know what to do. They was just sitting around like they thought they was finna run up across the street to go meet Nas. But then, I don't know, it was a big story about how Nas just had a van full of motherfuckers in Timbs and shit, and was really on that shit. But Nas wasn't the type of person to be running out here like, yo, I'm this and that, and I'm running around here trying. Nah, like, motherfuckers who was really about that shit didn't have to say shit.
Yeah, and to me, that also, these stories, they tell another story, and that story is they knew who Pac really was too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they knew who he really was too. And that's why like Nas didn't put pressure on Pac in that story, because he knows, like, yo, this person is confused. This person is lost. This person is having an identity crisis. Like,
yeah,
he know Pac. We love Pac. Like everybody loved Tupac. Everybody did. The world loved Tupac because of who
Yeah.
he really was. And when he turned into this other person, it was like, I mean, not another person, you know, I mean, another part of him, I guess. But like,
Yeah, he built a character for himself, so to
yeah,
speak.
it was like, and I think that it was understood. And I mean, like even like the Biggie movie kind of shows that it's like the confusion that Biggie had at that time, if that's true, which I believe it is, was like, yo, what? Who is this person? Like, this is my friend. What are we talking about?
Right.
Like, what happened? Like, there was real confusion, and then unfortunately, within that confusion, it was like, all right, this has gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
Now shit's gonna get real, and shit got real, and people died. You know what I mean? And Biggie and Pac weren't the only people that died over that shit. A lot of other people that don't get talked about died over that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot.
The suspected Pac's suspected murderer died over some shit that was in there somewhere. You know what I mean? So
yeah, all you had to do was bring up a possible name and the possible suspect, and people had their heads. You know, they was counting heads at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever they felt was involved, whoever they felt didn't fuck with Pac, whoever they felt didn't feel like it was on both sides too. Even right after Biggie died, like it was the same shit.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Unfortunate, man, and it's unfortunately still seemingly very relevant in hip hop. And as much as we all love the headlines and the stories, like I'm tired of our legends dying, bro.
Yeah, that is.
You know what I mean?
True.
Like it's I'm tired of it. Like I think the hip hop death that impacted me the most probably ever was Nipsey, because I don't know, Nipsey represented something so powerful.
That's a fact.
In the not only in hip hop but in the music, and very specifically in hip hop actually, because he did something that's been very hard to do specifically within hip hop, by really building himself up. I mean, Nip worked for a decade.
Yeah.
And had just really finally kind of like gotten the recognition that he had been working his ass off for. Like Nipsey was on the brink of becoming a superstar.
Right.
And had his life taken away over some dumb shit. Like it's it's not, none of this shit is really worth it. Like, bro, especially like the fight over like streets and neighborhoods. It's like none of us own this shit.
Just talked about that shit the other day too. Like people that fight over shit that they don't own, that shit don't make no sense.
It makes no sense. And like, I mean, like we had a superstar taken away from us.
Yeah.
Somebody that was preaching the shit, the independence that Nipsey was, because your fucking pride was hurt. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, it's like
that, and that's a whole deep ass, like it's a deeper conversation when it comes to like the mentality of the hood and how people have developed the fact that they can kill somebody over words. You know what I'm saying? Just over simple words. And like there were people who really justified the shit because it's like, you know, hood rules. You say certain shit, you got to deal with the consequences. But it's at the same time, if you ain't prepared to put your hands up because somebody says something, that don't make you a G. It don't make you a gangster. It don't make you none of that. It makes you somebody who's scared and who really is not about that. Like you more about killing somebody than actually being about what you talk. Like the people that come out here and say that they gonna do some shit and do the shit. Okay, cool, but that doesn't make you. It doesn't make you the gangster that you think you are.
Yeah.
It makes you somebody else. You sick. Something's wrong with you mentally. That's the problem.
You're right.
Has nothing to do with your street code.
I think
or none of that shit.
Fear was a great word. I think that choice of words, that's a great word, because a lot of people would rather put hot lead in somebody before they'll take a punch in the face.
Yeah.
And it's like that makes no damn sense. Like, you're so afraid to maybe get beat up that you'd rather just dead somebody before they have the chance to put hands on you.
And like that's another thing. I got. I'm gonna say this real quick. I got this drunk ass Coyote in here. I love Coyote. Trust me, I love Coyote. You know I love it. But Coyote is one of those people that is stuck in the hood mentality and thinks that there's a certain law in the hood. There's no law, there's no trust, there's no loyalty, there's none of that. None of that exists today in 2021. Like, if you think that there's any type of real actual law that people abide by in the hood, if whether you a OG or whether you a young motherfucker in these streets, you are lost.
Yeah, I think rather than putting energy into what the laws are in the hood, let's put energy into making it so hoods don't exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about poverty.
Right. Exactly. I know
Fight
exactly what you're talking about.
We want to fight over poverty. Let's fight against poverty.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, areas like that just shouldn't even exist. You know what I mean? Like, and you know what I mean when I say that, right? I don't mean like wipe it off the map. I mean like everybody should have the right to a nice home. Everybody should have the right to live in a safe neighborhood. Like, let's fight for safety. Let's fight for.
We want to protect. As a black man, I care about my people being protected and my people living longer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Poverty shouldn't exist in this country.
Nah, period.
There's literally no excuse for it. Like, there should not be impoverished areas in this country.
Right.
I mean, really, you could argue there shouldn't be impoverished areas anywhere. But since we're talking about this country, man, why the fuck do we have homeless people in this country?
We can't call this place the richest place in the country when we got a large population of homeless people around this country.
Right. Our billions and trillions of dollars in debt, like, we just keep running up debt.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Money ain't even real. Like, that we print that shit. We have printers.
They got cryptocurrency that's booming, and they hate that shit right now because it's exposing the fact that the shit that they've been giving us, the paper and the coinage, don't mean shit.
Right.
They really hold no value. The only reason they do is because people hold value to it.
Yep. Yeah, man, it's ridiculous. It bothers me that we have homeless people in this country because it shouldn't exist. It bothers me that we have poverty in this country because it shouldn't exist. Yeah. And it's another clear sign of the fact that there is a divide. Like, stop talking about. I'm just gonna say the fucking, especially the Trump supporters, because a lot of those Trump supporters are poor whites.
Yeah.
Yep. You're a poor white and you want to support this guy? Like, I understand that, like, he tapped into a market that has never been tapped into before, which is the poor whites. And finally they felt like somebody was on their side and speaking for them, but like, no, he wasn't. He tricked you. It was a trick. He tricked you into voting for him. That's all it was.
I just said the other day that his final trick, his final troll, his final fucking Ashton Kutcher moment was to tell these motherfuckers shit was rigged and to go to the fucking Capitol and to lose their shit so that he could leave the White House and watch all these people contradict themselves all at once when it came to protesting, rioting, police, all that shit, all in one day. They all contradicted themselves and made themselves look like fucking fools. And that was his last hurrah. He got the fuck up out of there and didn't give a shit. Yep.
And anybody that thinks he's gonna run again in 2024, no, he's not. He ain't running ever. He's not running. He's gonna stay in his bunker. He don't want to do that shit again.
Hey, she said, Coyote says, I'm disappointed in you. Don't be disappointed in me. I'm giving a point. I told you, Coyote, I love you, okay? It's okay. You don't have to agree with the hood shit, but just know that as long as you try to keep people in that mentality, you are going to continue to lead them down the wrong path. If you disagree with that, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I don't know who Coyote. I don't know who Coyote is. I'm assuming he's somebody in the chat, but like,
it's a she. She's good people. She really is like one of those people that is one of those people that really advocates for where she comes from, how she grew up, and I commend that and I respect that. But there's also reality to it. That's all I have.
So what I would say to Coyote is, I agree. You know what you know. Yeah. You were born where you were born, and you were raised how you were raised. And two things can be true. She's right. Rules have been put in place.
Yep.
They do exist. But I think the point is, the rules sometimes feel very counterproductive. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's what it seems like. Like, I'm trying to think of the best way to expound on this without sounding like an asshole. Man, fuck those rules. Yeah. Fuck those rules. Like, let's get away from those rules, because those rules they hurt people.
Yeah, those rules ultimately bring us down.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Sometimes I feel crazy talking about subjects like this because I'm not black. And if we're talking about specifically a black issue, sometimes I feel like I should just shut the fuck up. And sometimes I probably should just shut the fuck up. But I think anybody that's been watching this knows that this comes from a place of actually giving a shit and having
I wouldn't have you on here if you were one of the whites
I know.
to sit up here and say some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but I understand that you see shit too for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. She said, I'm from Germany, Kankakee raised. Coyote, and I love that about you. That's what makes you so crazy, and that's what makes you so wild.
Shout out Kankakee. I got some people in Kankakee too.
Yeah, and my guy, what did it say? Chief Wildfire says some laws do exist in the hood, such violence. So the thing too with that is, I think if there are going to be rules, those rules should help benefit us. Because if you're in a situation like being in poverty and everybody in your surrounding city or surrounding neighborhood is in poverty and y'all are living in the same type of situation, the best thing you can do is try to come together. But that's not the mentality that we have or that we've been raised with, because of the simple fact we have been conditioned in a certain way. But that's a whole different conversation for another time. What I do,
you said that much better than me.
Yeah, what I do want to.
What he said, that's what I meant. What he said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
What I do want to say though is that I've always appreciated the fact that you have used your privilege to help combat racism by speaking on things and bringing awareness, and also using your platform to speak on things and not being afraid to do it because you are white. You know what I'm saying? Which a lot of platforms do. They're scared to talk about certain subjects, or scared to talk about certain things in favor of a certain group because they feel like they will look like certain type of people, or I'm that type of white person. No, you really understand humans. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, you know what I'm saying? Everybody is a human being to you. So when it comes to you seeing people who are being treated unfairly, AKA seeing things for what it is, you're not afraid to speak on that shit, which is why I always have respected your perspective on these situations. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of who's having the conversation, whether it's just me or whether it's me and you, I feel like you will always have the space, or you will always have the right to speak on this because of where your heart is in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I got to say with that.
Well, I mean, to add to that, I guess in response to that, what I will say is, first and foremost, the thing that I think a lot of my white companions within hip hop culture and black culture don't seem to understand is we are guests. We are allowed to be here. It's not a right. It's not a privilege that white people get to have.
Right.
We are allowed to be a part of this culture. So as long as I am allowed to be a part of this culture, I'm gonna speak up. I'm gonna say what I need to say, because mostly just because it's the right thing to do. And like I've said many times, like, I really give a shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I would be speaking up whether I felt like I was a part of black culture or not. I would be speaking up, because clearly shit is fucked up. Clearly we're seeing a lot of fucked up shit. We're seeing a lot of wrongdoing. So I would be speaking up regardless. But I think that's an important thing to highlight, because it seems like specifically a lot of, I'm just going to say it. There's a lot of white rappers in this state specifically that don't seem to understand that you are a guest here.
Yeah.
You are being allowed to be here.
Yeah.
And also accepting the fact that your allowance to be here isn't always across the board.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants you to be here. So just because you're being allowed to be here by some folks, don't mean that everybody wants you to be here.
Yeah.
And
right.
you need to accept that. And I've had to deal with that many times. You know what I mean? I get a lot of support for my allowance to be a part of this culture. And I've had many people say, no,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be here. I don't fuck with you. And my response to that is, what am I supposed to say to that? I'm sorry you feel that way. I mean, is there anything I can do to change your mind? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not my so that to me is important, and it's something that bothers me as well.
Yeah.
And it's something that bothers me very specifically within hip hop in Minnesota is we're guests, man. We're guests. So yeah, so I mean that's a part of it is the fact that I'm a guest, but then another part of it is just the fact that I care about humans, no matter what color your skin is. I care about humans.
Right.
If I see people getting shot by police and getting beat on by police, and you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna say something.
Right.
That's it.
You're gonna raise your voice when it comes to it, man. And I've always appreciated you for that and respected you for that. Now,
thank you.
Jake Faircloth, man, what is next for you? What do you plan on, or do you even want to talk about your plans next? What do you want to give to us right now? Things that you can give to us. I know you plotting some shit, but what is it that you want to start doing, my brother?
Well, here's what I will say. I'll say everything that I can say right now. So one thing that I am working on is a partnership with the Lake Street legend himself, Southside Chief.
Mm-hmm.
We are working on something together. I told you a little bit off mic about what's going on.
Yep.
And some pretty exciting shit.
Some big shit, y'all. Some big shit. Stay in tune with them.
Some big shit. And we're working on some things. And I think you'll start to see content from that probably roll out within the next, I don't know. I mean, for sure by 2022, we're gonna take our time with it and do it right, and build up an arsenal and a catalog before we start really dropping it on heads. But so that's one thing that I'm working on. I can't say too much more about it than that.
Okay.
And then the other thing that I'm thinking, and you know, Joe and I need to have a conversation. We had a small conversation about this, but
what up, Joe?
I think I'm ready to. I think I'm ready to bring the Wisemen Show back.
Okay.
Got some air horns? Where's the air horns at? Perfect. It's going to be, you know, it's going to take some work. And I have some ideas on how we could do it. It'll maybe be slightly different, but I would like to do it. I think it's time. I think we left a void.
Yeah. Y'all definitely did leave an empty space.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some people have picked it up.
Yeah.
Some people have, you know, shout out to these guys, Waterwave
TV, shout out to them.
Yep. You know, they were working, obviously they've been working, but
yeah,
I've seen them pick up some of the slack there. Staring at the City.
Yeah.
They've been doing a nice job. You know, Motivation to Hustle, obviously he's always, you know, Tavy's always keeping up with the content. He's always pushing out content.
That's great. That's great. But we need the Wisemen back.
And then, then you. I mean, you, bro. Like,
yeah, that's cool and all, but we need the Wisemen back, dog.
Well, hey, it's my plan. It's my intention. My intention is to bring it back.
I will
tell you, we got some shit in the can still, to be honest with you. I got 2 interviews. There's 2 interviews and 2 freestyles that we never dropped.
Y'all got some bullets in the chamber still, so
I still got those in the can. So I might, I don't know, that might be the rollout. It might be a little bit old, but
hey, but as long as you can put the content out and ain't nobody seen it, brother, do it. Because I honestly, like I said, I've always enjoyed y'all, man. I've always loved y'all content. I know the city loves y'all content and what y'all do, and everybody tunes in, man. And it's still needed out here. You know what I'm saying? You know what happened last year on top of all the shit that was going on with the protests and everything, but involved with all of that, the music scene took a hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what happened with all that shit. Everybody being called out.
Shout out Rhyme Sayers.
Hey, y'all.
This one's for you, Rhyme Sayers. All right, sorry.
Yo, y'all gotta know what happened for that to be. But
my bad. My bad.
You good. Listen.
Hey, can I ask you a question? I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead. Ask me a question, man.
Did you watch the Dem Atlas? Did you watch him address the nation or whatever the fuck you call that?
I did.
Did you believe?
That.
Did you believe him?
I'll tell you like this. I'll put it to you like this. I'm gonna take this route. As a black man,
mm-hmm.
I understand when there's a situation where somebody may exaggerate some shit to try to make you look like a monster.
Man,
wait.
That's the most PC shit I have ever heard in my.
Let me finish.
He did that shit. He was guilty.
Let me finish.
He did that shit.
But I don't know him like that.
Guilty.
So I can't put it past nobody to do fuck shit. No matter who you are, no matter what type of persona you built for yourself, no matter what the fuck the case may be, I'll never put it past somebody to do some fuck shit. That's all I gotta say. Whatever you say, that's what you say. I don't do that.
I consider myself a professional reader of body language.
Okay.
And as somebody that has lied a lot and seen a lot of lies, that motherfucker was lying. That's all I'm saying. I think he was lying his ass off.
So?
Yes, I do.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And watching him try to force tears, come on. Man, he tried to cry and couldn't do it. I'm just saying. And Rhyme Sayers is even more fucked up for keeping him on the roster like that.
That part, fam. That part. After they told people last year that they could, this is another reason why I say that we need different people in control in this culture. Because these motherfuckers said last year that they dropped him during all the controversy, but still had this man signed and making money off of him till this day. So regardless, like, yeah, separate that shit. He could be a piece of shit, whatever the case may be. Rhyme Sayers, y'all motherfuckers ain't right for that shit.
Yeah, that whole organization has gotten away with wild of shit for far too long.
Yeah.
Far too long. I've forgiven Prof. Prof sent out some fucked up tweets.
Yeah.
He apologized.
Yeah, those are tweets though.
I'm
one of those people that's like, I ask tweets. Like, did this person do this shit in real life or what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And plus, I think I told you off mic, there's some shit that I know about Prof and Slug that a lot of people don't know. That I won't say here because I don't want to put business out there, but
hey, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't know. I ain't got no ties. I don't owe them those motherfuckers nothing. I don't, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got no debts to each other. They ain't never tried to sign me or take me out on stage or put me in front of. No, they ain't never did none of that shit. Shout out to, well, I will say shout out to Slug, but it's like, yeah, I'm gonna say this that I have not said publicly yet. It's shout out to Slug for pushing or promoting my music by posting my music on his Twitter and whatnot every chance he got whenever I had a new song out. But then when I realized that like motherfuckers actually like really did, it was like they didn't give a shit past the like retweet of some music.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Like if you feel like this person's good enough or you enjoy this person's music, but you continue to bring so-and-so out on tour with you, or you continue to have these people open for you, or you on the biggest label in the state, and you the head honcho artist over there, you the motherfucker that they make sure that they put up first whenever you have some shit going on, but there's no word around the fucking label around town about who the fuck I am. That's weird to me.
I agree.
And I didn't want to sound selfish in that, because I was one of those people that was like, I'm real chill. Like, I don't ever be out here like talking about, yo, I'm the best thing smoking. I'm better than this motherfucker. My music is the hottest shit ever. I've never been that type of person. I'm very humble. But then when you start realizing some shit, you have to speak your truth. And motherfucker, I'm literally one of those people that can keep up with motherfuckers lyrically, and I always have put out my own shit since day one.
Yep.
And I've never had a fucking manager, a fucking publicist, a write up, none of that shit. So it's like there was a little resentment there for me when it came to those people. It was weird.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like if you can retweet my shit, then, I mean, that's it.
Yeah, like I had a whole like, yo, I'm trying to get the Soundset campaign and shit on like Facebook like years ago. And I'm like, I got the number one motherfucker telling y'all that my shit is dope. Let me hit a fucking a Fifth Element stage or some shit. Let me do something. Let me perform a song, or you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like something. But it's a lot of politics surrounding this shit, bro.
Yeah, I think the thing that got me the most was when we interviewed Minnesota Fats.
Mm-hmm.
He shed a lot of light on who Rhymesayers truly was, when, Fats from Minnesota, literally has Minnesota in his name.
Yeah.
And he's got songs with, I don't even remember, he had songs with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
He had songs with a couple of really big industry artists.
Oh yeah. I've seen his come up too over the years.
And Snoop was actually on Soundset that year. And Fats was like, yo, I should probably be on Soundset. And he told me, they replied in an email and said, Minnesota Fats is too gangster to be on Soundset. Quote. But you got Snoop? Like, what? That to me is like,
yo. And then to know like their lineups since then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how you know like they only do shit when it benefits them. It's crazy, bro.
Exactly.
But now, but we digressed a little bit. I want to look, Jake. I need to know: are you going to bring back your voice out here in hip hop?
This is the start right here. Yes, 100%.
That is a very important question for me, because we miss you out here in this space, my G. You got to get back behind the microphone. You got to get back to doing this shit, man. I fully, wholeheartedly encourage that shit, man. For real.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I'm back. I'm ready. And yeah, you're gonna start seeing me and hearing from me more. I'm working on some things. So the content from myself, it's gonna take a little while, because we got to create it first. But it's coming. And I'm on a little bit of a press run right now. I did this. This is the first interview I did, and then I got another 2 booked up.
Let's get it.
So
that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm glad you came here first, of course. You big bro, man. You family. So of course, you are always welcome here to talk about anything that we got going on, man. And I once again appreciate you for stopping through and giving me the time. You know what I'm saying? Me personally knowing you and knowing that you've been going through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I love the fact that you are bringing yourself back to who you are, my dude, and I appreciate you. I respect you, bro. I love you, bro. Thank you so much for pulling up on the GMS show, for real. Like, y'all, this is really one of my homeboys, for real. Like, no just camera shit. Like, this is really my homeboy. I really appreciate Jake, for real. Like, over the years, he's really, really shown love and support for the shit that I do, and I'm the type of person where I will always reciprocate that for the people that genuinely showed that to me, man. So thank you once again.
Well, man, I appreciate all of that. I love you too. And I think that what you're doing with the show is amazing. And to watch how quickly you've grown it has been amazing. I think you really found something here. And I definitely want to come back. And just a couple more things to close. So the first thing that I want to say is we recently got some pretty rough news about my little sister. So anybody that's in here that watches this, if you could add my family into your prayers, that would be very helpful.
Send your prayers and love his way, y'all.
Yeah, please do. And cherish your life, because as far as we know, we only get one, at least in this body that we're in now on earth.
Most definitely.
And the truth is, life is pretty fucking great if you choose for it to be great. Don't get too caught up in the bullshit. Don't get too caught up in the sorrow. Don't get too caught up don't get too caught up in the bad shit. You know what I mean? We do. It's easier said than done, but we do all have a choice. We all have a choice to be happy. We all have a choice to be well. And it is, whether you believe it or not, it is a matter of just making up your mind.
Yep.
It is. I know. And that's not to take away from any mental illness or people going through depression. That's a very real thing. But our minds are extremely powerful, and no matter how bad the shit you're going through is, I promise you, there's somebody out there that's going through worse.
Yep.
And so that's it, man. That's all I want to say. Last thing I'll say is please go buy this book.
Shout out Solo Star, y'all.
Shout out to Solo Star. I love you, Nakara. I hope you're watching. And go to I Am Solo Star. Click the link in her bio. Check out her music. Buy her book. Check out her blog. And if you got any questions about me or about her art, her as an artist, hit me up. Follow me at Jake Faircloth 1. Man, this show is amazing. I love it, man. I'm glad you're doing it.
Thank
Keep
you
going.
so much,
Don't
everybody. Stop. GMS family, man. Shout out to my guy Jake. Put a shout out to Jake in the comments, man, and also put GMS in the comments. Jake, once again, I want to thank you for showing up and thank you for having a really great discussion, which I already knew what the fuck was gonna happen when you stepped into the motherfucking realm. So, like you said, you're gonna be back. We're gonna have Jake back on the show again to talk about some other subjects. And please go ahead and subscribe and go follow. Hit the likes, all that shit. Go support my man Jake, man. Real motherfuckers out here, man. Thank you, Jake, for stopping by again, bro. Appreciate you.
Of course. I love you, brother. Thank you so much for having me.
Love you, bro. Peace out, man. Yo, GMS family. I told y'all, man, this is going to be a dope conversation for some real people, man. And I appreciate all y'all inputs, all of y'all input, man. Y'all really, once again, showed up and showed out. Thank you, GMS family, so much once again for pulling up on me. You know what time it is. I'm about to shout out everybody in the comments. Put a GMS in the comments right now. Put a GMS in the comments right now. Let's go. GMS family, I see you. Coyote, I'm going to start out with Coyote. Coyote had a lot to say. She had a lot to say this episode. But we love Coyote, all right? Coyote is GMS family, okay? We love you, Coyote. Black Man America, J-Rob. Arius Allen, Chief Wildfire, Kid at Heart. Hey. Thank you, Arius, for the 5 in the chat. We appreciate you. Brim Dog. J.R. Miller. Hey, King Otto in the motherfucking chat. What's happening, bruh? Oh my God, I seen Fooster and Fooster Files. I see you. Where them GMS is at? Hey. Let's go. He said, fake Kwame Brown Bus Life, you better subscribe at least. Hey. Shout out my GMS family, man. Once again, man, shout out my guy Jake for pulling up on us. Shout out to y'all for pulling up on us. That was a really good interview. GMS family, I'm going to be back sometime this weekend, maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday. I don't know. But for a fact, we're going to be back next week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Pull up on GMS. We're going to continue to rise. We're going to continue to elevate. We're going to continue to motivate, spread that positive energy. Smoke some, GMS family. We out.